So this has been a big talking point all week, and that is the Marvels crashing and burning, beating Morbius for the biggest second weekend drop of all time for a comic book movie at the US box office. Now, I want to go through this and give my thoughts, and I'm sure others have too on this platform, but I haven't, about what has gone on here. So, and also I'm going to give my explanation as to why I think the movie did this bad. Now, I did a video a while ago, I want to say in the summertime, where I said that this movie would flop. I knew the Marvels was going to flop, and it has nothing to do with woke or political. I have to always say that because so many people on this platform use the woke SJW, I guess, agenda to make content. Some of them I'm actually cool with. It's just not something I like to do too much because oftentimes I think it's over exaggerated. There's other problems with the Marvels. Like I said, the script, but there's more. I'll get to that here in a minute. Horrific Legs dropping 77.9% from opening weekend for a 65 million US curve. Or coom. It's not cum, but no, what I was going to say was it'll be the first MCU film in history not to cross the 100 million mark in its entire domestic run, eyeing 80 to 90 million US run. Yes, we knew it was going to flop, but I don't know about it flopping this badly. And also, Luis Fernando, who wrote this, is somebody who follows the box office report, so he would know. So the top 10 biggest second weekend drops for major theatrical comic book movies. Marvel's is number 1 now. Morbius is number 2. That came out last year. I still haven't seen that movie. The Flash, 72.5%. I mean, man, I like that movie a lot. I was surprised, but I think a lot of it, I explained in a video that a lot of it has to do with the fact that people know that the Flash is only is people know that DC's rebooting and DC has not done people favors, so they skipped it. That's kind of what happened there. Dark Phoenix, 71.5. I think out of all the movies on here, Dark Phoenix is probably the worst one, in my opinion. Yes, I think Dark Phoenix is actually worse than the Marvels. Because at least the Marvels had Miss Marvel, right? At least it had that. Dark Phoenix, I don't know if it has any redeeming qualities outside of a couple of scenes with Michael Fassbender. I despise that movie. Suicide Squad, The Suicide Squad. That surprised me as well because the second movie was better than the first one. That was the second movie they're talking about. Hellboy 2. That was a long time ago. I actually had no idea that Hellboy 2 dropped that much. I had no clue. Quantum Mania, that was earlier this year, also flopped. And again, I still like mostly Kang in that movie. I also thought that movie was just unfairly. Well, not unfairly. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But I get it. Hulk, and this is not the Incredible Hulk. This is the Hulk from 2002 with Ang Lee, the director. 69%. Batman v Superman. That was the one that I thought was going to be higher on this list because when that one crashed and burned the second weekend, that made like the news sites everywhere because nobody was expecting that. But if you went to go see the movie opening weekend like I did, I saw Batman v Superman opening night. Man, that movie was, oh, it sucks so bad. And at least, and I've said this before, but at least the extended cut, the over 3 hour cut, I think it's about 3 hours and maybe slightly over. That one improves the movie a lot. So it goes over some other big MCU second weekend drops throughout history, but the Marvel's at the top. Now, to me, the reason why this movie flopped, there's a few different reasons. Number one, the MCU is just not hot right now. They're cold. And it has to do with a combination of things. A number of movies that were disappointing, going all the way back to Black Widow and Eternals. And yes, Guardians 3 was good, but that was really more of a Phase 3 movie because it was more like an epilogue. Guardians 3 was still good though. And but ultimately, Doctor Strange and Thor, I think both were kind of disappointing to a lot of people, especially Love and Thunder. Doctor Strange is a lot better than Love and Thunder. Love and Thunder, like, I've had no desire to rewatch it, and I did go back and rewatch Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness once. So that gives it a bit more leverage, with me. And then you've got Ant-Man, which was not very well liked. But besides all that, you've got the Disney Plus shows. WandaVision, everyone was hyped because it was new Marvel. We didn't have some in a while since, I think, Far From Home. And people were into it. Then by the end, it didn't really stick the landing. Falcon Winter Soldier, another show. I had fun with it. Haven't watched since it first aired. Don't know if I'll ever watch it again. Low Key, which was great, both seasons. The best thing I think in this phase, besides or next to No Way Home. And then we did have, Hawkeye and What If, which maybe What If doesn't count because it's different. I would still count it, but it was just more Marvel. And we obviously found out recently that Bob Chapek was the one that was really hammering home, like, more Marvel, more Marvel, more Marvel. It was his call. So that could be another thing, too much Marvel. And then while all that was going on, you had Moon Knight and Miss Marvel. I did see Miss Marvel. I have not seen Moon Knight. Actually, a couple of my friends recently told me I need to watch Moon Knight. That, like, no one's ever really praised it that much to me until very recently. I've heard them say that. So Marvel's cold. Number 2, Captain Marvel is cold. As a character, Carol Danvers, there's not that much to her in the live action sense. Captain Marvel, the first movie, I don't think was enough to establish her as being a likable character. I don't think Monica Rambeau, although she was a highlight of WandaVision, she wasn't that memorable. And even though Miss Marvel was fun, I liked the show. I love the actress. Is it really going to carry a live action movie? And while I think that some people are going to say, well, there's also a lot of sexist fans. I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are fans who are sexist. I'm sure of it, right? However, I don't think it's that many fans. However, there is one thing I should discuss, and I am going to be honest about this. We're not going to play dumb here, all right? When it comes to the Marvels, there are people out there who aren't necessarily sexist, but they're sick of the Disney quote-unquote woke agenda being shoved down their throats. Now, again, there's people on this platform that make video after video after video discussing that. I'm not one of them, but the truth is, a lot of folks who are not even viewers of those channels necessarily, people who are just casuals, will oftentimes talk to me about how they're always trying to push, like, something LGBT or girl power or whatever. Now, again, those things don't bother me as much as they bother other people. It's not that big of a deal to me. But there are some who probably just saw the poster and just said, you know what? I know where this is going. Even though when you actually see the movie, there's very little of it. It really wasn't what people feared. But in some ways it was worse. Either way, plus poor word of mouth. They tried their best to hype people up. And I do want to say that Disney really did something that I thought was fucked up with the Thanos voiceover in the last few trailers, and them making it seem like the villain of this movie was somehow tied to Thanos when she wasn't. That was actually fucked up, and that was actually, like, bad marketing. Like, you're literally baiting and lying to your audience. It's one thing to, like, be playful with them. It's one thing to, like, not show everything in a trailer or misdirect them. But that right there was straight up false advertising. Disney had no faith in this movie, dude. And that's what happened. I think they really have to take a step back. I think next year with only Deadpool 3, Deadpool 3 is the only MCU movie. I think that now is the chance to fix things and take time. If they're gonna swap Kang out for Doctor Doom or change the storyline around, they're gonna have to really get together with the writers now that the SAG strikes are over and really figure this out and take their time. Daredevil, we heard, was scrapped and started over again because they figured, hey, this is not going the way we want, and hopefully they'll do that from now on. Take it easy. Anyways, y'all, that's it. See you soon.